Okay, today we are going to talk about one of the world's most famous artists, Pablo Picasso. He was born in Spain, so he was Spanish. Both of his parents were artists, so he grew up making art when he was pretty young, about your age. They encouraged him to become an artist, so when he was old enough, he went to art school and studied art. One thing he did was he was always trying new styles. He was an artist until he died. He made art. He never really quit. He never retired. He kept making art for his entire life, and he lived into his 90s. One thing he's known for are portraits, and he started out making portraits look realistic, which we've talked about realistic art before. This is a portrait of his mother. So that is Picasso's mother. This is when he was young. He painted this, a new artist. As he grew as an artist, he changed his styles. He had a very close friend pass away, and for a while he was very sad, so he was painting in blues. They call it his blue period. You can see here is a portrait of a musician who was actually blind, and Picasso painted him with different shades of blue. Picasso painted this painting during his Cubist period called The Three Musicians. If you look at it there, you can see three figures with their musical instruments. However, you would probably not see musicians that look like this in real life. So this is abstract art. Picasso also made many other portraits during his Cubist period. This is one. One famous portrait from his Cubist period was Portrait of Dora Maar. Something about the artwork. Portrait of Dora Maar was painted the same year as Picasso's famous Guernica. Dora Maar, a photographer, grew up in Argentina like Picasso and spoke Spanish. Not only was she a friend of Picasso, but she was his model for more than 10 years. Down there in the corner is a photo of Dora Maar from 1936. So she was a real person. Her and Picasso were friends. She was a photographer, and he often painted portraits of her. This is one of the most famous. Take a moment to look closely at this portrait. Does anything look unusual to you? Does anything stand out that is maybe strange? We'll go back to that in a moment, but I wanted to talk about types of portraits, meaning the point of view that you're looking at it. On the left is a photograph of a woman straight on. So her head is not moved to either side. She's looking straight on. Both of her eyes, her nose, her mouth, everything is straight on. She's not tilted at all. So that is an example of a portrait that was straight on. On the right side is an example of a portrait which we would call 3/4 profile, where her head is slightly turned. She's not looking exactly straight on, but you still see both eyes. And the last one is the side profile. That is straight from the side. You see one eye, you see the side of the nose, you see the side of the mouth, you see one cheek, one ear. Take a look again at this portrait. Did you notice anything unusual? How about the colors? Look at her skin. It's yellow and green. There's a pink swirl on her cheek. Her eye is orange. One eye is orange. Her hair is multicolored. How about her hands? Her fingers, especially on her right hand, look very distorted. How about the position of her body? She's sitting in a chair, but her head is over to one side. Which angle do you think Picasso meant for Dora Maar to be? Straight on, 3/4, or a side profile? During his Cubist period, Picasso wanted to show things or people from different angles in the same piece of artwork. Think of a three-dimensional cube. He was trying to show Dora Maar from the side and straight on in this portrait. Several things to notice about the portrait. 1, the unusual colors. 2, she's shown straight on and inside profile. So you see the side of her nose, but yet she has 2 nostrils and 2 eyes. He incorporated patterns, like the background has stripes, and on her skirt there is a checker pattern. That was something that he often did in his Cubist artwork. Her hands and body position are strange. We will be creating a Picasso portrait in his Cubist style. Feel free to pause as needed. Starting with a white piece of paper and your pencil, you're going to draw an oval for the face. Then we are going to divide it in half with a line that looks like the profile of a person. So the side of the nose, the side of the mouth, and the side of their chin. Next is the eye from profile. It's a triangle and a half circle. And the other side of the mouth and the eye from straight on. Next is the neck and shoulders. So you want to draw a line that comes straight down and then over to the side of the paper. Put a shirt on my person. Now the details. Whatever kind of hair you would like. And a pattern in the background. Remember, Picasso used pattern when he did his Cubist work. Next, I'm going to outline with Sharpie, and then I'm going to use markers to add color. And that's the finished Picasso portrait.